Fortunately for us, we have whistleblowers, and these whistleblowers are credible, and they're overwhelmingly Democrat. These are good state employees of the state of Minnesota who have been begging for assistance from the Attorney General and the Governor of Minnesota for years to step in and prevent this fraud. They see it every day.
The Oversight Committee now gathering data points here, lining up interviews with relevant state officials, plus trying to secure financial records from both the Treasury and the Department of Justice. And Comer says here in part, whistleblowers have made it clear that American taxpayers were defrauded in Minnesota, raising serious questions about whether Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison failed to act or was complicit in the theft, and he also adds that those failures allowed taxpayer funds to be funneled to terrorist networks responsible for the deaths of Americans. Now, Governor Walz says he is accountable, but yet he is also saying that this scandal is overblown.
You should be equally outraged about $1 or whatever that number is. But they're using that number without the proof behind it. Those programs that the vast majority that are providing incredible services are now being are being put at a disadvantage because we're not able to get them out.
At least $5.5 million has now been frozen from the federal government until further notice. Andrew, Katrina.
All right, Alana Austin there live for us on Capitol Hill. Thanks for your reporting.
And here with us now, former special assistant to President Biden, partner at Ballard Partners, Michael LaRosa, back on set, policy analyst at CFACT and Republican strategist Melanie Collette, and former DHS senior advisor and Newsmax contributor Charles Marino. Welcome to all of you. Chuck, I'm going to start with you here. You know, sure. It's Governor Walz saying this is overblown, but it has been reported that the Somali social services scammers may have stolen about $9 billion. That is nearly Somalia's entire economy. It seems like when you put the facts to it, it's anything but overblown, and also surprising that he didn't know about this sooner.
Yeah, and look, this is going to be a lot more prevalent not only in Minnesota, but also in other sanctuary states and cities who decided that the taxpayers were going to be responsible for funding this failed global initiative of unchecked mass migration, which the Biden administration bought into big time. And look, we saw it with COVID. We see it with any type of mass welfare type of initiative where money is just thrown out to those that either shouldn't be in the country at all, or those that decide they don't want to contribute to society and earn their fair share. And what happens is, at some point in time, these groups of people decide that they deserve more taxpayer money, and they start to get a lot more creative in how they go about getting more. They start stealing it. And so this is no surprise, whether it's in Minnesota or California or New York or any other place.
You know, Michael, to you, is this just the inevitable result of injecting billions of dollars in emergency funding into states during the pandemic with little oversight, mind you? And what's Congress's role here? I mean, could we realistically see Tim Walz, Keith Ellison be hauled before Comer's committee to answer questions?
Maybe, and maybe they should, because these are federal dollars, right? There's so many federal dollars that flowed into these states, especially when it comes to like block granting for Medicare, Medicaid, which I think this is. So look, I would like to see a little bit more contrition from Governor Walz. The buck has to stop with him. This was a massive system-wide failure for the taxpayers of his state, and actually everybody, because it was federal dollars, really. But we also need to be clear-eyed about a lot of these states. If you look at the top 3 states who have the most Medicaid fraud, yes, one is California. The other 2 are Florida and Texas. So this is not about immigration. This is about sort of government mismanagement, but it's certainly bipartisan.
Melanie, I'm going to let you respond to that.
know that every single taxpayer in the United States should be very angry about this. This makes me, I was sitting here getting mad as we were watching those reports because of how ridiculous this is. And you know, DOGE and the big beautiful bill sought out to address this. And everybody said that the Trump administration were just full of big meanies and Elon Musk was just a big meanie. When no, fraud, waste, and abuse is a real thing. And we want these programs to be sustainable for people who actually need them. And they're not when billions of dollars are being stolen or mismanaged by the states who administer the programs.